Hey guys, happy Thursday. Welcome to Morning Joe with me, Jim. And it's funny, I was heading to the supermarket yesterday evening and I turned on the radio and it was Dave Ramsey. And I hadn't heard Dave Ramsey for a long time. So I was like, oh, Uncle Dave, this is awesome. So I listened in. And it was funny because a 24-year-old guy had been calling in and saying, hey, I've got a car payment that's higher than I wanted, but I had to do it. I have rent that's higher than I wanted, but it was the only place available. I had to do it. And I'm thinking about saving up for a home and buying a home. But should I? Because I keep hearing everywhere that maybe it's a terrible time to buy a home. So you know what Dave Ramsey's going to say, right? But it was funny to hear him say it. His first thing was he said, the news media says it's going to crash and all this stuff. The news media has an agenda, whether it's to get someone elected or get someone unelected, they have an agenda. I always say they have an agenda to sell more ad space, to create more revenue for themselves. Whatever the agenda is, they have an agenda. And he said, it's a great time to buy a home. Home prices are going to go up every year for the next 5 years. But it's a great time to buy a home, partly because you're not competing with 27 other offers anymore. You're not having to pay above asking price right now. It's just a great time to go buy a home. Don't worry about interest rates. That will change over time. You can refinance, is kind of what he said. Then he also said, oh, but it's a terrible time for you because you have debt. So I thought I'd share this because I had just earlier that day, yesterday, been going over this with a home buyer who said, should I actually prepay my mortgage? And in his case, he's buying a 480. I forget the purchase price, but he's putting 20% down. So his loan amount's about $380,000, right? And I don't remember his interest rate that we locked, so I just put 5.5%, somewhere close to that. And here's what I did. So both these scenarios are 380 loan amount, 5.5% interest. But here, he adds $250 a month in extra payments, principal payments, right? just 250. 250 is not a lot in the grand scheme of things. And I say that because on Dave Ramsey, the 24-year-old said, well, my car payment's not a lot. It's about $400, so it's not bad. Well, what's not bad, though? Because it's the use of those funds. It may not be much, but man, it compounds over time. It really does. So look at this. The extra $250 a month means that he'll knock off over the life of his loan $100,000, meaning he will not pay $100,000 to the bank. He will keep it himself. He will keep it in equity, right? And he'll pay off the loan not in 30 years rather, but in just over 23 and a half years. He'll pay, if he doesn't prepay the $250, he'll pay $396,000 and change in total interest. If he does pay the extra $250, he'll pay $296,000 and change in interest over the life of the loan. It's a huge number over time. So really, it depends. What do you do with those funds, right? What do you do with them? So I think Dave Ramsey, I know people hate him and some people love him, and I personally think he's awesome. But that's just me. But the reason I do that is because so many people come and say, well, I make 60 grand a year and I only have a $550 car payment, but I love my car. So, but it really, 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 it doesn't sound like much, but it really affects how much home you qualify for, right? So it has a major effect on that. Any credit card debt, student loans, car payments, etc. So my point is, in agreeing with Dave on this one, yeah, that car payment, instead of going to a car that's depreciating, it could go toward extra principal payments because you can afford it, right? You can, and knock off $100,000 in interest in this one case that we talked about yesterday with a home buyer. So I hope that helps. And if I can help you with a pre-approval and getting into a home, I agree with Dave. Home prices are going to go up every year for the next 5 years. And so it's a great time to get in and lock in that price now. If I can help you with a pre-approval, feel free to reach out.